G'day and welcome to the 49th episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. This week we talk to the lovely BelleBunny, we get into Iron Banner, we talk the Prestige Raid, a whole heap of charitable causes, and Matt goes absolutely Hulk mode. Yep, he finally loses it. We finally broke him. Cheers! G'day and welcome to this week's episode, the 49th in fact, of the Destiny Down Under podcast. As always, I am joined by Myelin to the left of me and Slothy down below. I've made that a bit sexy, haven't I? Yeah.
Hello.
This week we are joined by BelleBunny, none other than BelleBunny. How are you?
I'm good. I didn't know we were live.
Yeah, we're live.
I'm sitting over here talking about drunk newts.
Yeah,
and then you start a podcast. I'm like, hi guys.
No, well, that's just how we do it. We just jump straight in, get straight down to business.
Nobody told me these rules.
Yeah, we don't have rules.
We don't do countdowns.
Yeah, we don't do rules.
Fair enough.
Hey, guess what? This is what's happening. I had a countdown. I had the song. I just jumped at the end of it. So first things first. How is everyone? Everyone good?
I am hungover.
Go on, Sloth.
Sloth has.
You're hungover, Sloth.
Yeah.
I am.
Were you
hungover.
streaming last night?
I was playing. What's it called? Until Dawn last night, and laughing at the horrible fucking writing.
Is it really bad?
It's pretty bad. It's like the original Friday the 13th.
What's
Friday.
Until Dawn again?
Well, it's one of those.
It's on your PlayStation. Download it and play it.
It's on my play, is it?
Yes, I got it off your PlayStation.
No, you didn't. How?
Yeah, I did. Oh my God, Matt, what have you been up to? Thank you for.
I barely escaped a 5-hour raid through no fault of anyone in the team apart from microphone X. Okay, this is what happened. Okay, I need to vent and then we can move on. Okay, I need to vent and we can move on.
That's exactly why I brought it up.
We did every encounter first time except for Callus, which took us 3 times. So you would expect that you would get to that raid pretty quick, right? Everyone had pretty much done it. I didn't have to explain too many mechanics. It took us 5 hours. The reason why it took 5 hours is we were probably goofing around with microphones for 2 hours. Literally, like, we'll go into party chat. Hello, can you hear me? Myelin, can you hear me? And then it'd be like this. I couldn't hear Bell couldn't hear Sloth couldn't hear Log.
Oh, dude.
What? And then I literally just turned off I was like mid-conversation, I just turned off my Xbox. We got back in, I resetted everything, everyone reset, party chats didn't work. Discord servers were down.
Oh.
We couldn't even go into Discord. And I am just infuriated because I don't know. I was like, I don't know what to do. Discord's not there. Party chat's not working, and game chat was worse. Nobody could hear anyone.
Does game chat still exist? I haven't used it since about 2014.
We got through, to be honest. We actually, I'm very surprised we actually got through just with how many. And then on Callus, we took his shields down and we got wiped twice on the very final phase.
Rude.
But we got there. Anyway, that's it. I'm done.
You're right. You've had your vent.
See you guys.
You feel better?
Yep, I'm done.
Belle, how are you?
That's it.
How are you? What have you been up to?
Better than that, that's for sure.
Yeah, you set the benchmark pretty low there, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, my life's okay, and I'm like, my life's pretty dang good right now. So thank you for that. No, yeah, I'm good. I'm excited to be on here. I'm having my translator go through my brain while you guys are speaking in a totally different language, and I'm trying to understand. So
we'll try and pull back a bit on the Australian and just talk like normal human beings for a little while. Matt, you normally have a warning for any guest who comes on our podcast. You'd like, I know you relish in doing it.
Well, a lot of people use podcasts as a way of networking and gaining more traffic and that kind of thing. Unfortunately, this is not that podcast. you lose followers. You lose followers.
When I was like, hey, I'd love to come on sometime, and you guys were like, oh no, you would probably help our podcast out. I'm like, what?
we had Chucky on last week, and he was sort of our first community guest. We're going to try and do one a month. So he was our first person that, and he's been around since the dawn of time, at least in terms of the DDU podcast. And he, like, I talk to him every now and then, but he's not someone I know, like, closely or anything. And he messaged me and he goes, well, I'd love to come on, but I'm pretty sure Belle's going to win. And I'm like, that would be the least genuine thing of all time to, like, oh, hey, we're looking to try and help people. Here's this person with 10 times the following we've got. We'll have them on. Yeah. I'm like, nah, mate, that's not the way it works. It's fine. It worked out perfectly.
Classic strategy. Hi, guys. This is the community section of the podcast where we help out small-time streamers. Welcome, BelleBunny. Yay.
Up-and-coming streamer.
I mean, to be fair, hold on, rewind. Streaming is still kind of a, like, newer thing for me as far as, like, in the streaming circuit goes. I've got a name, but that's mostly on Twitter because I tweet a lot.
Yeah, right.
I think we all
That's
do.
the key, you guys. Just say a lot of random stuff over and over again, and people are like, "Ooh, I like that," and they follow you. It works.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we forgot to properly introduce our guest last time. So, BelleBunny, tell us about yourself. Tell us where you come from, what you do, and
Where did you come from?
Well, a long time ago, a man and a woman. No.
My parents, they loved each other very much.
And 9 months later, a bunny was born. Okay, go.
That's my life story. No. I mean, really, what do you?
Tell us about the podcast. Tell us about how you're involved in the Destiny community.
Well, Destiny is kind of like my first gaming experience. If I was going to say, like, I've gamed in the past, but I grew up in a household with no consoles. All I had was like I had a handheld. I was a Game Boy girl growing up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say PC, and it was like PC Master Race. There was no consoles. There was a full console ban in the house.
There was no consoles because Dad was just a huge subscriber to the PC Master Race. He's just like, you're not having that shit in my house.
So Game Boy, was that your first like experience with gaming?
Pretty much. Like I said, I literally had, other than that and playing Nancy Drew on our PC with my mom, I didn't really do games except for when I would sneak over to my friend's house and play Crash Bandicoot on their PlayStation. And that was like my entire gaming experience until probably high school. And I started playing COD.
That's all right.
Thank you for joining the podcast. See you later.
No, trust me. Get out. My story, I grew from there. You can only go up, right? And then I got into Halo, and that was kind of the start of Bungie stuff. And Destiny is where I would say I labeled myself officially as a gamer. And it literally came about because I used to listen to my husband's the one that got me into it technically, because he was all like super obsessed with this game named Destiny before it was even out, and he was listening to Guardian Radio and watching Bife's videos and more consoles videos, and I'm like, how are you so obsessed with something that doesn't even exist yet? Like, what the heck? And he's like, no, just give it a shot. Listen to Guardian Radio. Because I have a radio background. That's what I went to school for.
Oh,
and so
cool.
he's like, you might like it. It's a podcast. So he had me listen to it, and I really liked the chat and stuff, and I really got interested in people. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, I kind of get why you're so into this now. And then I got called on as a guest because Dames of Destiny was born, because we were like, I was hanging out in the chat and I'm like, oh, hey, there's other women here. And coming from a COD background, like, I was lucky to actually find other women who were openly stating, hey, I'm a woman playing a video game. Like, you didn't find each other. And so, like, I started running into some in the Guardian Radio chat, and I was like, oh, I wonder how many of us there are out there. So I just started Dames, and it kind of blew up, and Guardian Radio gave us a big shout out, had me on as a guest, had me on as a guest again, had me on a guest again. And I'm finally like, hey, you guys. Like a thing. Am I like on the show? And then it became a thing, and now I'm community manager for them. And I don't know.
That's how I ended up on Destiny Down Under, to be honest. They just kept having me back. And then
Sounded that bloody right.
We had trouble early on. We had an on too much, and then he was getting a bit presumptuous about everything, and we've had to just knock him on the head. We've been real mean to him over like the last 8 months, just to stamp it out.
Oh wow.
But I don't know, I've realized recently that when people ask me like, well, what do you do in the Destiny community? I the other day realized that I'm involved in too many things, that like my Twitter bio can no longer fit everything, even with everything abbreviated. So I think I need to like rein back a little
There's
like,
not enough characters.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like I love this community, I love this game so much in a way that I can't quite explain, even when the game makes me really angry. I'm still here, how many years later, and I want to be as involved as possible in all the positive things that happen out there. But there's a lot because it's a really big, awesome community.
I've always been interested with like couples who game because I just feel like my household would fall apart if Danny spent as much time playing Destiny as I do.
Oh, dude,
and it would be
so support that, man.
Destiny. PUBG, Matthew.
But like
Destiny. Get out of here.
Tell me about. Were there good, bad things about both you getting into Destiny?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because you see all those, like, all the memes out there and stuff are making fun of the kind of one-sided relationship issue where you've got the guy who plays the video games. The woman's always like, oh, come on, honey, don't you want to, like, the bedroom's over there kind of thing. And he just ignores her. He's like, hold on, let me finish this raid that I've been spending 5 hours on. But we don't have that problem, which is kind of cool. The problem we had to begin with was the fact that we only had one console in our house. What? It was that issue of like, whose turn is it to play now? And like, who's ahead of who in the game? And so the community was super awesome and actually gathered together and helped us get a second console so we could play together. And that started, pretty much. It was an issue. And
so you didn't do the death for death thing? You didn't go, all right, no, next death you pass the controller back to me and then I pass it back to you.
Nah, dude.
That was Destiny, but we have done that with other games. Before we had a second console, like we played, what was it, Mirror's Edge. We would play like, basically you get a chance, if you fail, I get a chance. We did that. So, and that's kind of fun. Like, even though there's not that many like couch co-op games anymore that are popular, we still find ways to kind of do that together, I guess. But, I would say the biggest issue is that we're very competitive on who plays better than who. And then you've got the problem that he's the one who brought me into Destiny, but I'm the one who's on the podcasts and has my own Twitch channel and people know my name and he's the husband of Belle. Like, it's kind of sometimes I try to shout him out as much as possible to be like, well, he's the reason I'm doing it.
Should we
husband of Belle.
We're going to have to get him on.
Yeah, does he have a Twitter?
He does. It's @HotCup, but the O in hot is a 0. Because he's Hot Cup of Joe, because his name is Joe. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Guys, follow @HotCup and tweet him. Husband. Is he a husband?
Yeah,
hashtag justice for
like
Hot Cup.
Mr. Bunny and
Mr. Bunny. Tweeting
Mr. Bunny. But the only other thing is we do, when we get into a discussion about games, a lot of other people would be like, oh, honey, I played this, and this was really interesting, and this is what happened, and, I'm really frustrated about this and this in the game, and they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever, And with me and him, we'll get into a really long conversation about it, but we also tend to disagree. He's a warlock, I'm a hunter, we're married. Go figure how that works. I don't know, but, like...
All right, I'm just going to have to... We're stopping the podcast there. We've got a warlock and a hunter. Get out!
To be honest, I'm just going to say you guys' relationship must be extremely strong. Not only have you shared a console, but you've also from different classes. Like, the odds are against you, to be honest.
Really
well
are.
done. GG.
And then we've got a kid too, and so that's the other issue is balancing us both getting playtime and a child. Like,
how old is your child?
She's 3.5. So
definite.
She literally has grown up
time.
on Destiny. Like, she was only a couple months old when Destiny first launched, and I like dressed her up. I made her like a little ghost costume and took her to the midnight release that wasn't really at midnight. And like she just literally she can name like all the different like classes, and she always says that warlocks are dumb, and I'm proud of her for that. I may or may not have taught her that. But it's a balancing act, that's for sure. But I'm a little concerned because we're starting our own podcast, and that might break the marriage because we're probably going to disagree a lot on it.
You and your husband. Is it?
Yep.
Sorry, I keep saying your husband. Is it your husband?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Bunny.
Mr. Bunny. So you're starting your own podcast?
Yep. We're
Tell us the goss. Yeah.
So it's called This Guardian Life. And basically the whole emphasis is on trying to represent the more casual, I put that in quotes because let's be honest, majority of players in Destiny are probably casual. So it's to kind of represent the casual gamer, because that's kind of what I've always been, and that's what I was on Guardian Radio. And that we also want to make sure that we bring on people as guests that are both big and small, like not just focusing on the super well-known names already. And we want to do like a very speculative lore kind of section and have all of the stuff that we talk about on the show kind of brought in by the community, really community run. And we're doing our first episode on the 26th of this month actually. So super excited.
And where can we find it?
We're mostly hosting it on Podbean, but we'll be on iTunes and pretty much everywhere once I figure out how you do that.
Yeah, as someone who worked it out a year ago, I'll help if I can.
Yes, please.
I'm not sure how much of that information I've retained, but I'll try. And I
know how to put it on Podbean, but from there I'm just like, me and iTunes, I play music and that's all I do on there. But you can find us on Twitter and stuff too. So
if you're doing a speculative lore bit, I know this little YouTuber who does lore. His name's Myelin Games or something like that. I don't know. He doesn't really do lore anymore. He just sort of yells at people in the raid now. So he's kind of good.
When they can't hear him. Because like when we were, for example, like because we know there's a lot more people diving into the lore, and but one of the things we want to do is get away from the stuff that's actually known and do more of so like the other day, Joey brought up the idea of, he's like, well, how does Guardian retirement work? Like when do they get to retire? What do they do afterwards? So stuff like that where there isn't necessarily actual backup in the lore for it per se, but just like, I wonder, let's have a really random discussion about this. And if there is lore that we can find, awesome. If there isn't, all of the lore people out there are going to hate us, and that's fine.
just wonder. He's like, your Titan walking up, and he's just like, Zavala, I've had enough. I need to cash in my 401k. It's like, what? Where do I?
It's gotta happen because there are characters out there in the game who are labeled as Guardians that don't necessarily actively act as we do as Guardians anymore. So just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a
So there's like, you're saying that there's a Guardian like caravan or motorhome kind of place where they can pick up a Guardian motorhome and move to the Guardian equivalent of Florida and retire.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for it. I think I may well be there myself.
Venus over to the retirement planet. It's gonna be good.
There's all old disgruntled Guardians. Get off my lawn!
Just get off my lawn.
Do you know one of the topics that I probably have the most requested for that you could definitely cover? Do Guardians have babies? Or can Guardians have babies? I don't know why.
Don't even speak. When they're dancing, they don't even emote. Are you kidding me? No. They're like plastic. They're like Barbie dolls. No.
I ended up on a pretty weird part of the internet the other day, and I saw some Guardians making babies. So,
and from that way, let's move into the TWAB this week, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Because there was some weird shit that we really don't want to get into.
Belle, your upcoming charity stream is next week, I believe.
Yeah, the 20th through the 22nd. We're doing the 4th annual breast cancer awareness / charity stream. Dames have hosted it 3 of the years, and 1 of the years, I believe it was it Aim Assist, I think, hosted 1 year. And last year we raised $10,000+, and this year we want to double that. And we're raising money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation, and they've been super awesome to work with. And their big thing is about making things like mammograms and stuff like that accessible. So it's going a little bit beyond the research element and more into the making the treatment accessible and the knowledge accessible to people who may be affected. So if you guys want to check that out, that'd be super awesome. We're going all weekend long on the Dames Twitch channel. So which is just
So
Dames _of _Destiny.
So that would be, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the Twitch chat, which a few of you are, make sure you go and check it out. Twitch.tv/Dames _of_Destiny. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Please go and check
spell
that
the
out.
words.
And if you have a few extra dollars, please go sling it that way, because breast cancer is a horrible, horrible preventable illness. And it's good to see that people are actually going and jumping on and trying to do something about it. So thank you very much for that, Belle. That's incredible.
Just on that note,
If you need an extra incentive, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say on that note,
Go on,
that,
Belle.
it never ceases to amaze me how positive, how determined the Destiny community is to have a positive impact on everything else. There is literally, and I know that it can be a bit like full on, because there's nearly something on every weekend. Someone's doing something for something, but you got to step back and I'll touch on this in our content review bit, but every now and then it just hits a chord and you're like, wow, this is real people in the real world pushing towards real causes through the eye of video games and a shared passion about that. And I take my hat off to you, Belle. It's a wonderful thing to get yourself involved in, and I wish you all the best with it. It's unreal. Congrats.
That's incredible.
And I have to say, you guys are giving credit to me, but I've got to give the credit to my admin team and the events team with Dames. They're the ones. I'm just over here being like, hey, you want to be on? And hey, come watch our stream. They're the ones that do the hard work. I'm just the one that throws my face out there and says, come support this. So Dames would be nothing without that entire admin team. So I cannot take the credit for that one. But if you are looking for extra incentive, we do have Bungie swag and some Destiny community artists who are putting up some of their artwork on we're using Tiltify this year for the charity event. And so if you donate certain amounts, you are eligible to get some really cool stuff too. So
I just wish I had
Saving People's Lives should probably count for more than that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you'll be supporting a good cause, and there will be loot. Maybe there'll be actual fucking loot. Who knows? Anyway,
and it won't be repeat loot, and it won't.
It's not repainted, recolored loot. It'll actually be good loot.
All right.
My word is worth more than Cade's word was in that trailer, I promise.
Well, on that note, we might get into This Week at Bungie. So, Sloth reckons you need to block your ears for this bit, but I reckon it's fine. So, let's go. Wasn't that bad, was it?
News.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to do something to the voice, otherwise it's just me going, news. I'm trying to build some drama. Jesus Christ.
I like it.
And today we've got the news.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you.
It's a good
and ladies and gentlemen, this week we've had the return, the big, massive, huge return that a lot of people have been waiting for, of Iron Banner, Irritable Bowel, Iron Banana, Steel Fruit. It is here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been Control. It has been, well, in my experience, it's actually been quite fun to play. Not so many lag issues, not too many people being salty. It's just the thing that really frustrates me, and we'll get into this a little bit more later on down the bat, but the thing that really frustrates me is the token system still, and the fact that when you hand in your challenges to Salad Bar at the end when you did the 3 challenges on the right hand side of the screen, blah 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 blah, when you get that, you have the possibility of getting an Iron Banner weapon, piece of armor, blah blah blah, or the Vanguard thing, which I don't think should be part of the loot pool. But thusly, I digress. Lady and gents, what has been your thought process? What has been your experience of the Iron Banana Steel Fruit this week?
I'm going to let other people say some positive stuff, because after having Chucky on last week, he's like, oh my God, I can't believe how negative Myelin is. No one warned me of how negative Nancy he was. He's such a loser. So you guys talk, and then I'll add my thoughts, because I've got some strong opinions on Iron Banner.
Matt, strong opinions? Never.
Matt with wow, who'd have fucking saw that coming? To be honest, I've enjoyed the games, the matches. I've had some absolute stinkers with lag and things like that, but for the most part, they're pretty close, competitive, and good fun. Either that or I'm stomping on people's heads which is okay every now and then, I guess. Yeah, so game quality in that has been good. It's once you kind of try and invest in what Iron Banner's about, it's not the same anymore, is it? It's kind of just a reskin Crucible where you can get shit out of a different loot pool. And probably my biggest bugbear with it at the moment is that I get all these fucking tokens and then I go to Salad Bin and I turn them in and I get normal shit anyway, and I'm like, what? I'm really just butthurt about it because I want that fucking Titan helmet and I haven't got it yet.
Wait, so honestly,
words.
Do you require assistance?
You're in the sloth.
Guys, I've pressed my panic button. The ambulance will be here soon. So, I played one game, okay?
Yeah.
So when you hand in your tokens,
yes,
is there normal Vanguard loot in that loot pool?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That face.
I'm done, guys. I am clicking on my channel right now and deleting it. Hold on a second. Settings.
Not enough of this bullshit. I'm taking my bat and ball and going home. Fuck.
Is he really gone? No, he's not. All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, he's...
No, that's not right.
That's not right, is it?
If the only thing you're going to get from Iron Banner, if the only carrot from Iron Banner is the aesthetics of the gear that don't even drop at a higher level anyway, then you have to make it the Iron Banner gear. It has to be specific to that activity.
That is absolutely correct.
Belle, what's your thoughts on this? Can you bring this rage train to a halt? Give us.
No.
Are you all aboard? Are you pushing the train
so,
forward?
So every time that I'm on podcasts, people are like, "Oh, Belle's usually the positive voice. We'll turn over to her." Nope, I'm sorry, you guys. I can't. So basically, first of all, I have to ask: do you guys play on PlayStation or Xbox?
Both.
Okay. For this, did you play on both as well?
No, just Xbox for this so far.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if there was any, because you guys saying that you had good games, I'm like, where were you playing?
Australia.
Apparently it's better there. So, I mean, I guess leg-wise, it wasn't horrible. There were definitely a couple of people I reported that I'm like, there was something funky going on, but maybe they live in Wisconsin. I don't know. And chat right now is saying it. Uriel's gift can just
Get lost.
Bye-bye. Like, the number of times where I'm like, I'm not too bad of a player. Like, I'm not an amazing player, but I'm not too bad. I can hold my own when I want to focus on it. And the number of times where I'm like, how? Like, I mean, you can ask the other night when I was streaming, everybody knew exactly what I got killed by before they even look at, like, the little thing on the side of the screen, because my face was like, every single time. But the biggest thing, I think, would be the fact that I feel like you put in a lot of time. You may deal with some frustrating games, and then it is just done with tokens yet again, which I understand that that's kind of like the user-friendly version of leveling up, I guess. Like, I get that it's straightforward. You gain these tokens, you go turn them in. Easy. Everybody can understand that. The problem is, like you guys said, you've got a loot table that includes things that you can get everywhere else, and that seem to be the things that are considered what they want, the game wants to give you, a lot of those, and not much of the Iron Banner stuff. Like, there were a number of people on Twitter even talking about how they played tons and tons of hours of Iron Banner and still don't have a single piece of Iron Banner armor. What? This is an event that's here for 1 week. I feel like...
I read a horrifying Reddit post through the week, and they did the stats on the actual chance of you getting an entire suite of gear, for want of a better description. You have to go up an average of 36 levels to get everything. Now, I'm on about level fucking 7 and I'm already pissed off. So if it's going to take me that long, I'm out.
Right. And the other thing is, so then the main thing that the main milestone that you get for Iron Banner is that you're supposed to turn in 10 different packages, right? So you're thinking, like, when I turn in 10, I'll get something worth my while, at least, right? To just be like, finally, I'm done. I did 10. You get an emblem, and it's ugly. Why does Bungie, like, I don't want to harp on this too much, but why does Bungie think that all we want for our end game stuff are emblems? Most people I feel like have default emblems that they think are cool. Usually they're ones that are found randomly out in the wild, right? Not usually ones from specific things, unless it's something that was really hard to earn. And you kind of default to a specific one, even if you wear one for a while because you're like, oh, look, I completed this. You pop it on to show off to everybody that you finished this raid or you finished that thing. 2 days later, most people are going back to whatever their favorite looking emblem was. So it blows my mind a little bit that I'm like, I got up to 10. I got an emblem. I don't have a full set of gear. I've got like 6 of the dang scout rifles. It really wanted me to have the Iron Banner Scout. That's about all I got. Like, I went into it expecting something, like, not as expecting. I was hopeful. I held out hope. I feel like I was a little crushed. I'm kind of ready to not play the rest of the
whole loot. Whoever made changes to the loot system just have balls that, like, not only is it just wrong with how many games you have to play and how grindy it is, but not having the smart loot is, I've got like 10 raid capes from Callus. I don't get anything else apart from capes. It's all I get. Exotics are the same. Everyone keeps complaining. You get an exotic engram, you get your 5th friggin', like, I don't know, what if coil? Like, whatever you seem to get, it just seems to keep duplicating it. It's so weird and it's so unrewarding right now, the loot. It's bad. I'm sorry. It's lost. What you going to say?
Like, the loot from the raid, I think I've made my point pretty abundantly clear on previous podcasts.
Yeah, we've done that.
Well. We've done that to death, but I think it's very muchly the loot itself from each individual seller it's too RNG based. It's too RNG based, and there's that horrible little, I'm not sure if it's a glitch or what, but if you have the same exotic in your inventory, it's going to dupe it straight off the bat. Like, I've got 8 pairs of
it's not even that.
Lunafaction boots.
I've dismantled 8 prospectors. 8.
Yep.
And fucking 5 Mask of the Quiet Ones. All I want is a pair of June Marches. You fucks, give it to me.
And the other thing that was weird too is that they sit there and they emphasize when they were showing off Iron Banner, right? When they put that little GIF out on Twitter, the main thing they showed was the armor, and that seems to be the things that most people are not getting. They're getting the weapons, which ironically isn't really what people are wanting because they're not like crazy great compared to other guns in play.
No, didn't you listen to Lord Saladin? They're from the Dark Age. They're relics from the Dark Age. Didn't you listen?
Relics from the Dark Age.
Okay, hold on.
Saladin, they don't look like fucking relics. They look like reskins. Saladin.
I have two things that I can say that were actually fairly positive. One, the armor that we're not getting does look pretty dang cool. At least as a hunter, I love the stuff. I just can't get a full set, which hopefully when it comes back around, maybe I can get myself to play again and I'll get more of it. But the other thing I love is all of the little things going on between Saladin and Shax, because they're directly below and above each other. And if you stand there listening to them, they'll be like yelling. Like Shax will be yelling up at Saladin. What? And there's a whole lot of there's little conversations that go on between the two of them. And then while you're playing Iron Banner, there's a number of times where Saladin will say something like, "Oh, it's not over until Shax sings." But he's pretty shy. Like there's all these little like cuts at each other, and that part is fun. I have to give them credit for that. I have to give them credit for some of the design of at least the armor. The weapons are kind of meh. It's just I think we're all kind of at that point in general. A lot of the loot in this game where it's like it
feels like such an artificial way of increasing longevity of the first release of Destiny 2. It feels like they've got a little bit of vodka and they've mixed it with a liter of water to make it go further. And they've done that by making the RNG bullshit and adding stuff to the loot table just to force people to grind and play for longer and longer. It is honestly, no one we've spoken to has been like, yeah, I really love the new loot system at all.
But do you like you fully understand why they did it the way they did it though, right?
Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing, right? They said, all right, we learned from Destiny 1. We're going to make sure there's no content droughts. This is not how you get rid of content droughts.
Well, because
This is
people
not
are
a viable.
earlier.
This is not a viable way to get rid of content droughts. It's just to water down everything in between DLCs.
Because I actually see more people. I don't know if you guys like have noticed, but on social media, people are still playing, but they hit that I'm not feeling like I need to sign in every day point way faster than I feel like we did with D1.
Oh shit, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
already. I wouldn't be
it's
playing
like,
as much as I am without
that's
Iron
weird.
Banner.
That's weird to see, and to me, that doesn't read as longevity. That almost reads like they shot themselves in the foot a little bit with trying to do that, and then it just, I don't know. It's weird because I appreciate that some elements of what they've tried to do with D2 is to make it more casual friendly. I personally appreciate that because, like I said earlier, I do feel like unless you're a content creator, and even if you are somebody like me, I still consider myself casual, even though I play probably more often than a lot of people do. I'm nowhere up there like some of the people who are making YouTube videos every freaking day and have hours and hours and hours put in every day. I can't do that, right? The way they've built it allows me to at least level up faster than I used to be able to. It does allow me to gather more items than I used to. I feel like the game in general is a little more friendly. However, even for casuals, I feel like they have kind of the actual desire to play more often is gone. And I don't know if that's a problem or not. Like, are they just accepting that, hey, we're going to have some gaps and stuff, go play something else, come back when we bring new stuff because it worked for the first 3 years, everybody did it anyway? Or did they just mess up somewhere?
I don't think there's a clear progression line. I don't think there's a clear, like, if I play X games, I know I'll get one unique piece of armor. Okay. If you said to people, you play 5 games of Iron Banner and the percentage chance wise is you'll get at least one piece of armor, people then can set goals for that. Right now, the goals are so fucking huge that there's almost no point. Like, I know I can't play 36 games of Iron Banner in a week. It's not going to happen, so I don't bother.
No, 36 ranks.
36,
not 36, not 36 games.
Ranks.
No,
Sorry, 36
ranks. That's
Which
like
means
100 games.
If you're
man.
winning all of them, yeah, it would be, you get 5 for winning, right?
Yeah.
And you get 2 for losing.
Mm-hmm.
And it
It's
takes
not
20 to level
achievable.
up.
It's not achievable.
Yeah.
And if it's not achievable, you aren't going to play and you aren't going to enjoy it. We've talked about this whole system of you need to keep giving, drip feeding people things that they want. And by diluting the loot pool and by making it so difficult to get the items that we do want, because there's so much hype around that goddamn samurai gear, like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I have a question for you guys.
We haven't spoken about the big thing yet. And
Yeah,
if
go
you think
for it,
I'm
Bill.
angry, if you think I'm angry, just wait. Okay, go on.
boy.
Just what, you quick, get your question in now before he flips the lid and
Do
goes
it, do it, quick.
fucking Hulk
Go,
mode.
go.
Do you guys think that if they had, instead of making it token based, or even if it was token based, that every so many times that you level up, you're able to pick something that you either purchase or that you're guaranteed, rather than it being the goal is 10 times that you turn in packages and you get an emblem? If it was more like in the past where you gain the tokens and then you have earned a specific level of gear, right? So like in the past, it was like you open up, so say that they're selling the helm, the cloak, and the scout rifle that week. Like if they literally just said, okay, so you turn in your first 5 packages, then you get, like, you can get random stuff, right? Even leave in the Vanguard stuff for all I care for those first 5 packages. You hit 5, you can now select that you want to pick up that helm. Then you get to 10 and you select that you want to pick up your cloak, and then, you know what I mean? It's like that you're saying, you get those goals. You're still having to do kind of the setup they currently have, but you have specific things that you're receiving for the time you put in rather than RNG.
I think that would be a great solution, or it needs to go back to smart loot. It needs to be able to recognize what's in your inventory and reduce the chances of getting duplicates. That will help people do that. That will help people
in the game
stay in
right
the
now.
game.
There's not enough loot in the game right now to be able to do that, and that's why they've
really
gone back to this.
That's why it seems like. That's
the
why
thing
it
that frustrates me
looks
is
like this.
we're out there harvesting these fucking arbitrary currencies, right? We're always picking up tokens, doing all this shit. Give us the option to go, like if it was, every 20 you collected, you could go up a rank and get a random package. Or guess what? You can save up 60 and you could buy a fucking helmet. You could just buy it. You can absolutely buy it.
Especially with all of the ones all around and the different planets now, because realistically, that stuff drops so like lower level anyway. Oftentimes, how often are you actually going and wanting to turn in tokens that you picked up on Nessus at this point? Like, unless you're missing, like, say that there was a specific item that you thought looked cool from there that you wanted to get, and you still haven't been able to get it because you keep getting the other item. Like you're saying, if you had that option to be like, okay, I'm going to save these up, I want that specific thing now, give it to me, because you put the time in, you know.
I promise everyone, we actually love this game.
We do.
That's
Why. Yeah,
we do.
We're passionate about it. It comes across that we're angry because we're frustrated because it means the world to probably all of us here. We just want it to be, you know, a lot of us invest our time.
We know Bungie could do better.
Yep. When you're able to when you spend 4 years playing a game and you're able to still continue you want to give critique to the game, constructive criticism to the game, that means you love it, even if you start tearing it apart. I feel like it's the people who play it for 2 hours and then spit on it and say it's horrible. That's different than what I feel like people on a podcast who are tearing it apart now are trying to do. You know what I mean?
I think I wholeheartedly agree with all of your points and all that sort of thing. And a lot of people have brought these up, at least in the streams that I watch and my own and all that sort of thing this week. The thing that a lot of, and it is in the TWAB, and we'll get to that as well, but it's also, you can yell and complain and all that sort of thing, but there's got to be some sort of constructive criticism in there, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't directed to the three of you. This is directed as a whole out there. Mm-hmm. Is that you can take to Twitter or Reddit and yell and go mental. You can go mental as you want. But if there's no constructive criticism in there, and all you're saying is, I'm being loud because my voice is loud, and then you're taking your bat and ball and going home. No, that's not the way it works. You need to add some constructive criticism in there. And that's one thing that at least I've been trying to do this week, is trying to speak to people across many multitudes of content creation, especially Twitter and all that sort of thing, and just be like, well, Crucible Iron Banner is bad. First of all, what is bad about it? What don't you like about it? And what could they improve upon? And that is something that that Bungie has also addressed this week. Now, moving away from the loot, armor, game types, and all that sort of thing, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the Shores of Time has made it back into the D2 rotation, which is
distant shores now.
Well, distant shores now, but like it's moved from Venus to Nessus. But I actually thought that was a really good addition. I thought it was really done well. Yes, it is recycled content, but if you look at Destiny 2 as a whole, a lot of the sound bites are recycled. A lot of the death animations are recycled. Yeah. You know, like that's just something that you've got to remember. But there was that and that lovely little Easter egg that only came in this week that I only found. I haven't been able to get it to proc myself, but a lovely little Easter egg that came in during the Iron Banner, who Saladin is the same voice actor of Reaper from Overwatch.
Yeah.
And if you get a high enough kill streak, he starts going, die.
Oh, really?
And starts carrying on about Shax, where am I? Sorry, I've been watching too many games. Oh, Shax, get me some water. I'm not old.
That's cool. That's actually
it is
cool.
Absolutely amazing. So if you haven't seen it, please look that up on YouTube, or I will post a tweet to the chat and all that sort of thing a little bit later on. But lady and gents, what do you think of the Shores of Time?
I really like it. Okay. I think they've actually improved that map too. There's a few rocks in places like that big sniper alley up the back. You know, we're on C Point where you can basically just sit up the top and there's a big rock there now. They've cut it in half. I think they've taken one of Destiny's strongest maps and made it stronger and brought it back. And it's really interesting for me to see that, like, when Vostok as a map was announced, they were like, oh, they're reusing the Iron Temple. Fucking, you know, people are blowing up about it. This, I've heard maybe a peep, and everyone else is like, okay, no, this is fine.
It's funny, initially on Twitter, like when they first showed it off, they showed that little clip of it saying that this is where they were adding this into the Iron Banner pool. You know, there were the people who did that whole, I have a loud voice and I'm going to complain about this without any backup. And then, after I feel like people experienced it, it was one of those, especially for people who played D1, it's kind of a cool little nod to us, right? It's a map that I feel like a lot of people if nothing else, we almost have an advantage if you think about it that way on it, because we know the map and other people may not. And it's kind of a cool nod. I thought it was a little weird to revamp it as a Nessus map. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to leave it as it was, but so it's a little weird. Like if I was going to look at it from the like canon standpoint, is that strange? But I like the map, and it's one of the ones that I feel like I love the flow of it. I think it works really well for Iron Banner and everything. Yeah. Like I mean, I can't really complain about it. It's a cool map, and I think it looks even cooler now that it is Nessus-ified. Is that a word?
That's a word. Nice. We're adding that. Nessus-ified. Nessus-ified. There we go. All right. It's in the
on the topic of canon. Let's get back to the topic of canon. Okay.
Right. Should I start something down?
Get your trank darts ready to just sedate Myelin. We've got a man on standby to tranquilize him if he goes too far.
Last week I said, this is what, I scared Chucky. He's like, man, Myelin is a negative Nancy, dude. He needs to be tranquilized ASAP. I said, we better have just at least very small justification for why we've got samurai armor. The Iron Banner armor has been completely changed aesthetically. And I said, I really hope it's not just aesthetics. And I hope there is the very least, a little bit of lore in the Iron Banner armor. Not only did we get zilch, no lore, there was no lore tab or anything. And Saladin treats you like a complete stranger, like all the events of Rise of Iron never occurred. And that is just so bizarre. Bungie were at their peak of writing, in my opinion. Books of Sorrow, The Taken King, and Rise of Iron was a cherry on top in regards to introducing the Iron Lords. And every Iron Lord, or the original, the OGs, actually have their own Grimoire cards. And why they couldn't put just a little bit of that in the weapon or armor is beyond me.
Especially because, not to cut you off, but especially because if you look at the guns and stuff and the different items, the way they're named is a nod to the old Iron Lords, but there isn't there's not the flavor text to give you more, but I don't know. Yeah.
I honestly can't think of why. Bungie, I could do that in a week. I could do that in less than a week if you want me to recycle that. I know I hate people that say I could do it better than you, but this is like at the very breaking point that I'm like, you have a full writing team that wrote Rise of Iron. What? There was obviously a conscious decision to say no. We don't want you working on Iron Banner lore. We want you working on something else. It's not the writing team's fault. They were obviously directed to do something, and it wasn't Iron Banner lore. And I don't know why that was like that.
That's like, how long could it take? Like half a day?
It doesn't take that long. They already have it done.
So what I'm hearing is that Luke Smith, Myelin Games is calling you out. Next week in the Octagon, we're going to have to see some fist on face action
that
for your
writing
of the.
I hate saying that stuff, but
it is frustrating. We had this conversation last week.
Precedent. This is aesthetics over building a universe. They are undoing all their work they did with building the Destiny universe by saying it's honestly like a whole bunch of old dudes got around in a boardroom like, what are the kids like these days? Samurai gear. Give them samurai gear with zero context. We won't add to the world. We won't add to the Destiny universe. We won't add to any of that. Just give them samurai gear and they'll be happy. And you know what? Make it really fucking hard to get.
Make them fucking work for it.
The thing that kind of frustrates me as well with the Iron Banner, and especially on the lore side, which I did see on Twitter, and then I actually noticed it in game, and I was like, It says below Salad Bar, he's the last of the Iron Lords, even though at the end of Age of Triumph, they had what's her name?
Aphrodite,
who was the Iron Banner person.
Well, and we technically became an Iron Lord, right?
Exactly. Like they could separate us in like all the cutscenes and all that sort of thing. So if there's no Destiny finish on your account, you had I found you here, and you don't know about these things, like the Taken. Cora, what are these things? Like the ghost lines and all that sort of thing. But they can't bring that into Iron Banner.
It's like they dropped the attention to detail when it came to like something a random public event like this. And
I honestly think that I don't think the team's working on. I think their goals are on DLCs already. I think they're they haven't. There's no more people. There's a very limited team working on what we're playing right now. I suspect, and everyone's working towards the next DLC drops.
Which, to be fair, I mean, it's. I don't think they meant for Iron Banner to be. If you look at it from a new person's perspective, right, which is gonna be really hard for all of us here, but if you could look at it from not somebody who spent 3 years prior playing Destiny and knowing the lore that already existed and having done Rise of Iron and having the whole Iron Lord thing mean that much more to you and having played Iron Banner before. If you could try to remove yourself from that for a second and go, oh, Iron Banner, you get some cool new gear if you play a whole lot. Like, that's kind of how the community who's new is going to see it, right? That may have been the way it was kind of intended as this, let's just pass the time. It doesn't work well for those of us who have been around from day one of D1, but, you know, realistically, it may have just been they intended not to put so much effort into Iron Banner other than try to make a cool set of gear because it's not a big focus. Like, you know, it is, they're trying to make those the big, Iron Banner isn't endgame anymore, if that makes sense. Like, it's an added event. It's not meant to be endgame because that's why they removed the whole power matters, right? They made it more casual. It's just you're supposed to go play it, have fun. It was control, whatever. You know, it's over for the week. Move on, right? And which is part of why I think that it works with them. I think we're going to talk about it next, but the fact that we didn't have 2 different events during this week, I think, kind of works out because they're adding an actual end game thing.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, let's move on to that. Let's move on to that.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, with the update that came last week, they were to be implementing the Prestige raid, the 300 power level raid, but they actually held that back because there is an encounter breaking glitch, which actually can remove all of the ads from the throne room during the Callus encounter, which is very well. It is encounter breaking. It is absolutely encounter breaking, and it makes the whole encounter like stupidly easy, where you could have 5 in, 1 out.
Yeah, but you know, I sort of think that balances out all the other bullshit glitches you get.
Oh, listen, you've had issues with it. Let me just finish this bit, all right?
Bungie aren't responsible for fucking party chat, mate. Just calm down.
I'm sorry, guys. Tranquilize me quick.
Salty. Matt has taken my role this week, ladies and gentlemen. He is the angry man. I am just me. But the fact that they're going to they're wanting to fix the issue, so that's going to be implemented on October 18th, 10 a.m. PST. That's when the raid is going to be available. So that's 4 a.m. Australian Daylight Standard Time, 3 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and whatever time it is for you, Matt. I don't care. And it's 1 o'clock in the morning for Matt. But it's if you do take part in the raid races, ladies and gentlemen, and you do use the glitch and you finish first, they're going to verify it. And if they verified it and you've used the cheese or used the glitch, you're out. See you later. You've used the glitch to try and claim something that isn't yours. If you are going to be attempting the raid races, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that I'm very passionate about. Do it properly. Don't cheese it. I feel
like there's no actual proper gloating and that you can do if you did intentionally cheat. You know what I mean? Like, I hope
someone does do it and gets number 1 because they're going to get so burnt. The community will just gulp them up. Could you imagine if
good lynch mod in a while? Let's go.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if someone was like, "Oh, we got first," and the community found out that they cheesed it? Oh my god, that would be swallowed up.
Just don't do it. It wouldn't be worth it, honestly.
It would not be
really
worth it.
It's really not.
I mean, when you think about it, we've only ever had what was it, Rise of Iron bus drivers that were that managed to do the world's first hard mode for that, I think, and weren't live streaming it. Literally everything else that has ever been world's first has been live streamed. So, I mean, the odds are that it's going to be one of these like top tier groups. Like, I mean, you know, I wish them all the best. I don't really have a horse in the race unless you boys are going to do it again. I'm not. I don't need that stress in my life. But I think
Yeah,
that,
probably do.
I think that the chances of someone doing this exploit and getting away with it anyway were pretty slim. But it just goes to show, like, you put shit on Reddit and Bungie are reading it because it was on the Reddit like 3 days before it was due to kick off, and everyone's like, oh, this is going to be easy because we can do this. Nope. I mean, obviously the exploit's still there. They don't want to jump in too quickly and sort of run the risk of breaking other parts of the raid to fix this part. Matthew, be quiet. I can see you. But
the vein on his head is just.
But they've basically worked out how they can verify whether you've done it or not, and they will be disqualifying anyone who does it from the count back, basically. Okay. So we may need to wait a few hours to find out who is world's first, and that's really all there is to it.
And the further on with that, there is going to be a few mechanical changes. Obviously, you might have the infinite death glitch that does happen on certain encounters, or all encounters if you do it right and all that sort of thing. But good luck, ladies and gentlemen, if you are attempting it. Good luck, Belle, if you're attempting it with your chosen raid squad.
So hold on, let me explain. It's not because it's hard or anything. It's because I'm still blind on the raid. Anything after the more beasts, I still have stayed completely blind, so I still haven't actually completed the normal. So I will not be attempting prestige raid.
Fair enough.
Running prestige raid blind. Just I don't recommend that.
Trial by fire.
Who knows?
If I got world's first while running blind.
Go for it. Do it. I believe.
We've got it. We believe.
I don't.
Well, that's the first battle lost.
But ladies and gentlemen, so there is that. So like I said, good luck if you are attempting it. I hope all of the good things come your way, but hopefully you fall over and let my team win, because that would be great. Okay, thanks, bye. But no, so the next part of the TWAB that we will be getting into is their stage, our story. They're going to be having a panel at TwitchCon very, very shortly. It is on Friday, 20th October at 4:30 p.m. Pacific in Los Angeles, which could be good, could be very good. It's Los Angeles, I know, Belle. I'm just being a twat.
I wasn't sure if this was like a new thing again or not.
No. I'm just being a moron. It's fine. They're going to be talking about seasons. So if you look at your clan page, if you are part of a clan, if you look at your clan page, ladies and gentlemen, it'll say season 1 clan level blah, whatever it is. TA is clan level 6 at the moment because we've got a very active community, which we do thank you for. But that's they're going to be doing a little bit more of the seasons, which is kind of awesome. They'll be telling us all about it, and so you check that out. It is in the Cool Cat Theatre or the Cool Cat channel, which I believe is twitch.tv/TwitchCon Cool Cat. So please go and check that out, guys.
Who named it the fucking Cool Cat Theatre? It sounds like something my dad would come up with. This is for the Cool Cats. Is it a brand or something? Sorry, I don't mean.
Sounds like whoever came up with the samurai gear.
Oh, Matthew. Right, next week's episode, we are banning all talk of samurais and their place or lack of.
Do you know the funny thing? I was the one that was like, "Look, guys, we need to be more positive." And ever since I had that conversation, we need to be more positive in the podcast, I've been the grumpiest, the most brutal person in the podcast.
Do you know what the difference is? Sloth started getting more sleep. So you haven't changed. We've just stopped being even more negative.
Yeah. It's just who I'm around.
Mate, you've had a big day. It's fine.
Another massive piece of information that's coming out of the TWAB this week, which we do know it has been coming for quite a while. But October 24th, 2017 at 10 a.m. Pacific, the Destiny 2 PC launch, which is incredible. If you are getting it on PC, good luck to you. I will not. I know Matt is. I know Log is. Belle, are you getting it on PC?
I have a Mac, and it's old.
Oh.
So that's a yes.
Oh. Oh,
Yes, and I'm going to do blind prestige raid on my own Mac.
World's first.
World's first.
Horror twist. Destiny runs better on Mac.
And ladies and gentlemen, the recommended PC specs are on the TWAB, so please go and check that out if you are needing that information. It doesn't need a really beast computer to run, but because it is a newer studio doing a PC port of a console game, please make sure that please make sure that your PC will run it before purchasing it. Because I don't believe that Blizzard.net do refunds after installation. I don't believe that is the case. So please be aware of that before you move into that as well. Now, I've completely forgotten what we're doing next. Do you a content review log? Do your thing.
Look, I'm going to let Matt out here because Matt's got to go and he's got to do PhD. So we're going to let him go early.
Doctor stuff, yay!
I'm also going to remind him that I know full well that he didn't do his homework for this week. And he doesn't have anything for this section anyway. So you can
No. I can do it right now. What are we doing? Which one are we doing?
We're doing our content review, Matt. Hang on. It's okay. It's okay. You didn't have the music.
It's okay, Matt. It's fine.
I'm going to use it right now. No.
We're doing
video game
content review.
How was that?
I don't think I could do that one.
Yeah, all right. Content review. Fucking review some content. Let's go.
Video Game Donkey is mine. If you guys haven't seen Video Game Donkey, you're doing YouTube wrong.
Is he saying donkey really strangely?
Donkey.
Donkey?
D-U-N-K.
Yeah.
Donkey.
Yeah.
Video Game Donkey has some of the best 3-minute videos on YouTube, and he was on the Hate Tree podcast just recently. He's a really interesting dude, to be honest. So funny. Watch any of his videos. I'll put a link to his.
I'm literally picturing a donkey playing video games.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
I mean, it'd probably sound much like I do when I type with the big hoofs on the keyboard.
Not a donkey.
I'm gonna have
Video
to look it
game
up. Shoot
donkey.
me the link, Matt, so I can add it to the thing if you get a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
It's in Twitch.
Cool.
It's in Twitch. Oh my god. It's in Twitch.
Matt's out. Just
Thank you, everyone.
Matt.
Sorry, I'm gonna
No
go.
worries.
Bye.
Have a good day.
I'm sorry for being grumpy, everybody.
That's okay. You come on, you let it out, man. You got to let it out somewhere.
But the thing is, you just have to realize the law will find you, except Iron Banner law. That definitely won't find you because that's not in the game. Bye.
Man.
Oh, that was great.
He's your mate.
Your brother.
He's not my brother. He's just so angry. Jesus, Matthew.
He's so angry today, ladies and gentlemen. So angry. So, Belle, what is your little bit of content that you would like to talk about this week?
Okay, so those who already know me know that I'm pretty outspoken when it comes to mental health issues and stuff. And the other day was World Mental Health Day, and most of you probably have heard of the game called Hellblade.
Yes.
It's a newer-ish game. Within the last, probably month or two? Maybe 2 months now?
A couple of months, I think. A couple of months old. It was
Yeah.
just before D2.
Okay, and it's by Ninja Theory. That's the dev team that created Hellblade. And not to give any spoilers about the game, but it definitely deals with mental health in a very, very dark, deep, intense way that I feel like most games and people kind of avoid. And I thought that was really, really cool that they have tackled that. And on October 10th was World Mental Health Day, and what they decided to do as a company was all of their proceeds, like all the profit that they make basically from the game being sold on that particular day, was being donated to a group called Rethink Mental Illness, which is an English charity that tries to help people affected by mental illness. And I just thought that was really, really cool. And it was cool to see the amount of support for it all over Twitter. And the number of people, I don't know what their total sales were and stuff, like how much actually got donated, but
A
I just thought that was
ridiculous
really
amount.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. And there were a lot of people I saw who were like, they were on the fence about playing the game or not. They weren't really totally sure on it. And then when they saw this, they're like, okay, I'm just going to do it. They hopped over that fence and they bought the game. And I definitely intend to play it. I wish that I could have purchased it that day, but it's very, very well done game from the things I've seen. Can
confirm after playing it a while ago, from start to finish, it is an incredible game, incredibly well done, very upfront, not poorly done up front. It is very upfront about mental health, especially psychosis and all that sort of thing. So I do highly recommend it. Ninja Theory did really, really good stuff. It is not a AA title. It is not an indie AAA. It is just a good game. Thank you, Jim Sterling. It is just a good game. Please go and check it out, ladies and gentlemen.
And the graphics are insane too.
They really are. Yeah,
I think it's just such a class touch to have the social awareness to go, look, we tackle issues in our game that probably aren't. There are other games that have touched on it, but it's portrayed in a way that it's kind of destigmatizes it a little bit. And you kind of, you're playing as this character, and it gives you that sort of an inside understanding of, and you can't generalize and say the experience of having a condition like this, but it does give you that sort of context. And for them to go, you know what, we really need to do this. And I mean, that's I imagine not an easy thing to do, to just go, guess what, for a whole day, here goes all, proceeds, bang. It is an absolute class touch. And yet again, video games coming through for the real life peoples doing the real life things and struggling with real life issues. It's 10 out of 10.
If you do play the game, I highly recommend watching the documentary at the end. Don't watch it ahead of time, but watch it afterwards. Watch it in full. I watched a streamer finish the game, which kind of ruined some things for me. And I watched the documentary, and it's just huge props to Ninja Theory overall.
Yeah, it is a great game, and I watched that off stream, and I may have had a little tear roll down my cheek because just a teeny one. No, it's a very, very well done game. But lastly, Log, what is your content review for this week?
You first, sweet cheeks.
No.
I insist.
Oh, for fuck's sake! So Log's got this lovely. So Belle's got this lovely video about profits for charity for Hellblade, and Log's got his lovely little bit that is actually quite, not really something that Log would usually do, but it's me that's got the stupid thing this week. So my content review is for a video done by Australian YouTuber Laserbeam. And it is, it's about Star Wars Battlefront 2, and he's just stupid in it. Like, he just carries on like a pork chop. He does like really funny cuts. He's just a moron. And like, I love the dude because he's like I watch. If you haven't watched the podcast, I watch Jim Sterling and Total Biscuit and all those guys quite a bit. So I'm quite opinionated on that. But today I just thought I'd do something silly. So I've been watching Laserbeam and his gameplay of Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it's definitely worth a good watch. It's literally just him. Think of me, but younger, better looking, and more of an idiot.
So not like you?
Yeah, more or
less. So he's Australian.
That actually came out of my mouth, and it really wasn't supposed to.
That's pretty much 2/3 of this podcast, Belle, is like things that come out of our mouth and probably shouldn't. So you're in the right place.
I've been.
I mean, how long have we been going for? An hour and 20 minutes, and you've cracked. There you go. All right, mine this week is something that I'll be completely honest. I've had my head in the sand a little bit over the last few days, and I haven't been keeping in touch with what's been going on in our fair community. But I hopped on Twitter this morning and I saw that Bife had just finished his stint on the Dads of Destiny channel doing a charity drive for cystic fibrosis. Now, for me, I was like, whoa. Initially, a little bit sad that I didn't know that this was going on because it's something I would have loved to have been involved in. It's probably the first thing that, like, Destiny-wise, in terms of people like doing charity drives, there's like, it has affected me firsthand. And my cousin, when I was about, 12. Renee, she passed away. She had cystic fibrosis. She fought with it for, the better part of 2 decades. So it's definitely something that is, for me, it's sort of the first of these charity things that's really rung home. So if you're in our stream right now, that's where you're going when we finish. We're going to host into that. We're going to push into that. And like I said when we were talking about Belle's thing earlier, it just never ceases to amaze me, the things that people find to put their energy into and the positive shit that this community does. I will never, ever, ever hear someone say a bad word about the Destiny community while that is the case. Sure, we've got our fucking foibles. Sure, we've got fucking our anger and our rage, especially at the moment when things aren't quite what we wanted them to be. But more than anything, this community is such an engine for positivity and good shit happening in the world that don't let anyone tell you fucking otherwise. And if they do, tell them to come and see me. Right.
And
so,
Belle, what's your plan for this week? What are your plans for this week outside of your lovely charity thing, which is next weekend, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Yes. Which is next weekend.
Yep.
So what's your plan this week?
I was gonna do more Iron Banner, but I got angry, so I'm probably not doing that. I actually probably will be streaming some Stardew Valley because one of my lovely friends bought it for me and sent it to me. So I might do some of that. But then we're also I'm actually going to go live and exist outside of games and my house for a little bit. Yeah. And there's this thing called nature and outdoors. I know. Outdoors? And sunshine. I'm not really familiar with it, but I've heard it's nice if you don't stay in it too long.
I mean, I went out. I looked out there once, and it was just all green shit everywhere, and I thought, "This isn't for me.
I'm done.
This isn't for me."
I'm gonna go play on Venus instead, where it's green too. But no, we're going. My parents got a cabin. We're gonna take our daughter, and we're gonna go kayaking and stuff. And
that's awesome. Yeah.
I don't know. And then come back and be like, video games, I needed you.
Internet, come back to me. Come back to the internet.
But then, the breast cancer stream is kind of the next big.
Yeah, excellent. Please, I'll keep an eye on Twitter as best I can, but because you're in the States, it's kind of hard when you're announcing things because I'm asleep. But if you want to tag us in anything that we can help retweet or get out there, please do. We love supporting other people doing that. Especially things like Paula, she did anxiety in gaming only a month ago now, and that went really well. So we love being involved in these sorts of things. So definitely something to keep an eye out for. If you're listening to this cast this week, please get involved, jump on it. Slothy, what are you up to, brother?
This week, I'm probably going to be doing a little bit more of the same. I'm going to finish off Until Dawn. I'm going to try and... hang on.
Yeah, you're right.
But Maury, do you want to just whisper me? Just whisper me. Whisper me the link and I'll sort it.
Overzealous Nightbot.
Overzealous Nightbot is overzealous. So yeah. No, this week I'm going to be finished off Until Dawn. I'm going to actually try to stick to a schedule that doesn't involve me going to bed at 4:30 in the morning. But who knows? But yeah, so we'll be doing the raid. So a few, hopefully Zebra with the Sword, a few of the TB guys and TA guys can get together and we'll crack onto this prestige raid because I'll be awake. I know that I will be. I'm an insomniac. That's what I do. So I'll be awake and we'll be doing that and maybe a little bit of Crash Bandicoot to throw it in there as well, just for a good bit of rage, just for good measure. So
I'm jealous.
Wow.
I haven't played Crash Bandicoot since I had my PS2, so I'm pretty keen to play it. I watched Polar play it; it was quite funny. I watched Angel's Death play it; it was quite funny. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's my plan for the week.
When are you doing that? So because I love tuning in to when you play difficult games, so I can tell you how easy they are. This is like
I was
my
gonna say,
hobby.
when are you gonna stream it? And if so, tell me when so I can come be nostalgic. And then you've got party pooper over here.
No, I'm not party pooping. This is just how we roll. It was like when he played Cuphead, and I'm like, it doesn't look that hard.
I watched somebody play Cuphead, and I was just like, I literally rage quit the game before ever playing it. I will never touch that game.
I played Cuphead. I got through 2 bosses and half of the first run and gun map, and I'm like, no, refund, please, thank you. It's
I don't
lovely
think
game.
it's good for people's health.
It's beautiful. The game itself is beautiful, and I love it. It is an incredible game, and the music in it is lovely. But it's just, I can't.
There's the link.
I couldn't.
There's the link. Overzealous Nightbot,
Thanks.
be gone. There we go.
Be gone, bot.
Be gone. Yeah. What was we up to? We up to my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn, mate. Yeah,
Oh,
go,
you know what
tell
I'm
us.
gonna do? I'm gonna actually try and do fucking music for a change. Like, really, I have been so slack over the last when did I do Arsehole? A while ago now, but I've been shocking, and I apologise for that, because I know that there's people that follow me for the dumb songs and that sort of stuff. So I'll be getting back into that. But beyond that, I'm going to be doing trials tonight with Sassafras, because the only way I'm ever going to get to the lighthouse is if he puts me in his backpack like the little Yoda that I am. So that is basically what is going to be happening this evening. I'm not sure who I'm running with yet. I think Sloth might be. If Matt's not around, I don't know. It could be a DDU and Sassy fucking affair for all I know right now sitting here. But that is maybe. That is what's happening. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I mean, that's obviously Australian time. So when I'm saying tonight, it's probably tomorrow morning for you if you're in the States. So that will be the plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, BelleBunny, thank you so much for coming on the podcast this week. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on and talk to you. And yeah, it was really lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun, and I learned about strange newts and things.
Australian language.
What was it that you said just before that? A pork chop.
Oh, yeah. No,
Pork
did you
chop.
see my face? He's like, pork chop. I'm like,
That's I don't know. It's just like idiot, really, isn't it? It just means it's just
just
one of
carry
those
on.
things. It's one of those things. It's just Australian bloody garbage.
I'm going to learn it. And if you ever have me on again, I'm going to come in here with all the Australian slang.
Oh, right.
this could-
There's a gauntlet.
And maybe the accent, but that might be asking too much.
How long do you think you need? How long, right? We'll put a time frame on it.
How much slang is there to learn? Not a lot, right?
Well, there's a
I'll put it
lot.
this way. I'm 32 and I haven't got it all yet. So.
Yeah, I'm
So
38.
32 years from now.
Yeah, right. Okay, so, well, good. We'll lock Bell in for episode 4556.
Sounds good to me.
Sweet. Rightio. Well, we're going to go from here. We're going to host into Dad's Destiny. This has been another episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I hope that if you've been watching it live, that you've enjoyed it. Belle, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. We're definitely, I say this every week because we always have amazing people on, but we definitely need to get you back on. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. So,
a lot of fun.
jump into the Dad's Destiny, say g'day a lot. That is, we don't really have a raid thing. We just say g'day a lot, and we just assume that people know that we're Australian from that. But beyond that,
I'm going to say good day, Newt.
G'day.
G'day,
Oh,
Newt.
hey,
Good day, Newt.
G'day, Newt. Yeah, right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You've thrown
thank
me.
you so
I'm
very
gone.
much for watching. I have been Real Time Sloth. He's been Log Power Slave. The bullfed that left early has been Myelin Games, and we have absolutely thoroughly enjoyed having BelleBunny on. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, we've been the DDU. Catch you later on.
Sayonara. In the spirit of the Iron Banner gear. Sayonara.
Oh my god.
I just almost Guardian Radio death groan because I'm so used to that on the end of a podcast.
No, go for it. Go for it. Bye.